Hello and welcome to the Magical Travel Adventure YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about Disney's refillable mugs. Hello and welcome to the show. I am Lauren Williams. I am your host to talk to you all today about Disney's refillable mugs. Now, if you don't know, I am a travel agent and you are welcome to use my services. The information is below. Also subscribe so that you can get more information on these videos. Now, this is a introductory video for people who are not used to going to Disney World all the time. If you go to Disney all the time, this is probably not the video for you, but that's okay. So there are other videos out there that I have that I'm sure you would enjoy better. So this is just some basic information about the resort refillable mugs at Disney World. So at Disney World, they do offer these fun refillable mugs that you can get. Now this one is pretty old. I haven't gotten a refillable mug in a few years. Mostly, the multiple COVID trips that were canceled. And then when I went back, the first two times they didn't allow you to get your own drinks with the refillable mugs, so I didn't get one. But let's talk about what they are. So these mugs allow you to refill at your resorts fountain sodas, coffee, teas, all that throughout your stay. The cost of them, this is the basic option. It's plastic, has a plastic top, and it does have a handle. If you are a veteran Disney person, you know the handle on the mug was a big debate when they tried to drop it. And so this mug is $19.99 if you buy this one. And it's just one set price. It used to be different costs for how many days you wanted it, but now it's one set cost. It's $19.99 to use during your stay. Or they have stainless steel options, either for Skyliner resorts, they have a Skyliner one, and for all the other resorts, they have Star Wars ones, and they're that stainless steel tumbler type. They're both 16 ounces, and what they do is you can take this mug. First of all, let's talk about how it works. So, how it works is when you get to the resort, if you go to the quick service location, in the quick service location you can buy one of these mugs. You'll see them, they're all like in a big container or all right around the checkout. If you grab it and don't pay for it, it won't work. So don't bother trying that option. But when you go, you are going to the quick service location. That means the fast food, the food court, depending on where you're staying at one of the Disney resorts. And you can buy one of these mugs. You should buy it the first day you're there to get the best value out of it, but you decide for you. And you're going to need to buy multiple ones if you have multiple people in your party. So just remember that also. So when you pay for it, there's in the bottom here, there's an RFID chip in there. And it's not activated till you buy it. That's why I'm saying they don't care that if they're all sitting around there and you take one and try and go fill it up. It's not going to work. That RFID chip needs to be enabled in order for it to work. Now, typically when you go through the line, they ask how long you're going to stay for. You need to know how many days you're staying for or what your checkout date is or your last day or things like that. It's not going to work after about 14 days no matter what. So you need to know that ahead of time also. It only works for this one stay, this one time. I can't bring this mug back with me and use it again. It's not going to work. They've deactivated the RFID, the little chip in the bottom that says that this works or doesn't work. So if I go up, it's not going to work. Once you have this refillable mug, you can use it as much as you want. You can refill it. You have to wait 2 minutes in between every time you use this mug. So if I go and fill this up, and let's say my husband and I were thinking of sharing this one cup, it's not going to work because, first of all, my husband will drink it all in 1 second. But you have to wait 2 minutes in between each fill to get more. So that's the whole point, is that unless you're going to wait, all that time to refill, it's not worth it. Just buy the second cup so everyone can have their own cup. That's talking about the resort mugs. Now, let's talk about the offerings in these mugs. So, what you can get is a fountain drink. Typically, it's different at different resorts. They're trying to all upgrade to those freestyle Coke machines at the resorts, but a lot of them still also have just regular, like a bank of fountain sodas, of like typical Coke products, because Disney's all Coke. But Coke, Diet Coke, some sort of, they'll have a root beer, sometimes they'll have orange. That's pretty much it. A few of them have cherry Coke, but very few have the cherry Coke there unless it's the freestyle machine. In addition to that, they typically have a High C or a Powerade or both at those stations. So that's another option also, but that would be like your fountain drink, sugary juice options. And then coffee and tea you can also get and put it in the mug, and hot chocolate. Sometimes the hot chocolate's a little like hidden and you have to find it's just packets. It's not like anything fancy. So it's packets with hot water that you'd have to make yourself. What is not included are juices and milk. So those items you would have to pay for on your own, and those are typically in coolers anyways. They're not really next to where you get these drinks. They're more like a little before you pay in coolers, like in juice boxes or juice containers. Just remember, if you're getting a kid's meal, a lot of times they offer like a free drink with it, like milk or juice. So you don't need it if your child is, always getting a kid's meal there, and getting that milk or juice is part of that meal. So you don't have to buy it for like a child that's going to do that. Now, where can you use this mug? This is the most asked question I think I get as a travel agent. So you get this mug and you buy it at your resort to use only at your resort. You're not going to be able to use this in the parks, okay? So you can take the cup with you and fill it with water and bring it to the parks and keep refilling it with water, but you cannot go to a quick service location in the parks and hand them your cup and say, please fill this up. So it does not work in the parks. It works at your resort. If you are doing like a split stay, you can use it at both resorts. You just have to make sure that your final date that you said that you would use this mug is the final checkout date, not the date that you're leaving that specific resort. By the way, a split stay means that you stay at multiple resorts throughout your stay. So you don't stay at just one resort. You stay at two or more resorts when you stay. So a lot of people ask like, oh, what happens if I go to this resort and we're just getting like a quick service meal? Can I bring my mug? This seems to be like the gray area. Obviously, the official answer is no, but if you're doing a split stay, it obviously works if you're going back and forth. So that's all I'm going to say about that. What I will say is when I go, I normally do get a refillable mug. And I will say, if you are planning on going for a short trip and you're planning on being in the parks all the time, this might not be the thing for you. Okay? There are coffee makers in the room. So if coffee is important, you can make it in the room yourself, and you wouldn't need the refillable mug. This is how we typically have vacationed in the past, is we go in the morning, we'll eat in the room, but we'll fill up our mugs the night before and then drink whatever is in there. Or like my mom would go down for coffee to fill her coffee up and come back up, and we would eat in the room. We do lunch in the parks, but then dinner would always be at the quick service location at our hotel. So the refillable mugs actually came in handy at that point, because we could refill a bunch of times. And when we came back late from the parks, we would also one of us would run down with our mugs and fill them up, so that we could have stuff in the room. So it kind of depends on how you vacation. If you're also planning a lot of time at the pool, you can use these at the pool. Like a lot of times there's multiple pools, so there's not always a refillable station at all of the pools. but some of the pools do have the refillable station. Whichever one has the pool bar, that's where you're going to refill your mug. And oftentimes the quick service location is not too far away, but you don't want to go in like dripping wet with your bathing suit to go refill your mug that way. So you just kind of have to decide yourself what it is that you are looking for out of this mug. And obviously, the longer you stay, the better value it is. If you're like me, I have lots of these mugs for some reason that we hold on to, and that we use very rarely after going to the parks. So that stainless steel option that they've come out with is something that I'm interested in when I go back in the fall, so that I can have like a cool Skyliner mug or a cool Star Wars mug that I can use and would more often use going forward. Those steel mugs do cost more. Like I said in the beginning, they're $29.99, so they're $10 more. So it's kind of up to you if you want. Great, so that will end our discussion on refillable mugs. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments so I can respond and help you with your vacation. And as always, I'd love if you could subscribe. And if there's any other videos you'd like to see or that would help you with your Disney planning, please let me know so I can make those videos.